Ito, hindi ko makita dito.
So today we're going to make cassava cake. It's a Filipino dessert. Um, we're using grated cassava. It's a root crop in the Philippines, and we'll be using a can of coconut milk, sweetened condensed milk, 1 can of each, butter to grease our pan, and also um, for our batter. And then we'll just preheat the oven to 320. Let me do that right now. And I'll get our sugar. You can get this brand of coconut milk at Costco. They sell it for, I think, a box of six for, I think, less than $10. It's really good quality. Yep. So I put in our coconut milk. This is super easy. We're just mixing our ingredients together. Just mix them all together. So again, I preheated the oven to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. If you are hearing a lullaby song, that's because my son is napping. And then I'll be putting the grated cassava. This is usually frozen. You can just get it from your Asian store. I think it's just $3 or $4. This is 1 pound. Put them in the whole bag. Just give it a good stir. And then for this, we will also need 3 whole eggs. This is optional if you like a little bit of texture. You can put in flake coconut. This is already sweetened. So I'll just put about half a cup. and then just store it in your fridge in a Ziploc bag. For this recipe, I will only use like really little bit of sugar because it already has condensed milk, and I'm using sweetened coconut flakes. So probably just um, half of 1/4 cup, around 1/8 cup of sugar. You can adjust the taste to your liking. For this particular cassava cake, I'll be putting flan on top. So that also adds to the sweetness. And then I will melt my butter and grease my pan. Since it's the new year, and a Filipino tradition is like making sure you prepare some rice cakes or kakanin. So that's why we're making this. This is just one of the kakanins we're preparing. This is a 9 by 13 pan. Let's try this is my melted butter. Brushing this pan real well. So once the cassava cake is baked, it won't stick as much to your pan. And why um, are we making kakanins for the new year? Uh, Basically, kakanin or like rice cakes are sticky. So the belief is that you want to prepare these types of like food during the new year so that the whole year your family will stick together, um, and just have that great bond. So there are different types of kakanin. There is what we call palitaw. It's made of glutinous rice flour. Also, there's kuchinta, sapin-sapin. But for this new year, I'm planning to make palitaw and also um, bibingka and oh my gosh, who was it? Puto kalashao. Kind of like puto kalashao, just because I want it like really sticky, and I like that type of puto. Just a little bit of sweetness, and it's sticky, and they're bite sized. So it'll be my first time to make it. So here's my melted butter. I'm adding all of it. This is about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I made a mistake once when I tried to make the cassava cake the first time. I did not add any like fat. Um, I know coconut milk has fat, but that apparently wasn't enough. So my cassava cake became rock hard. I don't know why. So when I added the butter and tried to use a good quality coconut milk, that did the trick. So now I'm just making sure that everything is well incorporated, your sugar, your condensed milk, your coconut milk, your butter, your coconut flakes, and your eggs. So my oven is preheated, my pan is greased. Now I'm ready to pour this batter on my pan. Here it is. It's a beat up glassware. So we've been using it quite a lot. So nothing fancy. Just making sure all this goodness goes in the pan. And then we will bake this for about 30 minutes at 320. Just make sure um, that when you check it after the 30-minute mark, there's no liquid. Like they're pretty solid, a little jiggly, but there's no visible liquids on the top. Usually, the outer part will be the ones baked first, and then the middle part takes a little bit of time to bake. So when that happens, if you check it after the 30-minute mark, just add maybe increments of 5 at 320 and then keep checking. And it's okay if it's not thoroughly cooked. Like what I said, we are going to add flan on top. So that'll add up some cook time. So that'll make sure your cassava cake will be fully cooked. So now it's placed in the oven. Let me just clear my area and we'll be switching gears. We are going to prepare our flan topping. So for the flan, what we are going to use are typical flan ingredients except for the caramelized sugar. We'll be using a can of condensed milk, evaporated milk, 1 can, and then 12 egg yolks. Okay, so let me do that right now while we're waiting for our cassava cake to bake. I just use this for my trash to keep my area clean as much as possible. So I won't need to spend a whole lot of time and effort trying to tidy some things up. So I know we have a ton of egg whites. You can do a frittata. You can also just fry it as it is and make an egg white omelette. Or if you're into baking some cakes, you can use it for your Swiss meringue buttercream. And also, if you make macarons, just make sure that your egg whites don't have like a drop of the yolk because that'll ruin your meringue. So you can set that aside um, and put it in the fridge. They say aged egg whites help a lot with your macarons, so that can be used if you're interested in making macarons. You can check our video about macaron making. Of course, we used ube filling for that one. Anywho, so these are my egg yolks. They're sliding all over the place. And I am ready to add my milk. So for the milk, if you don't have evaporated milk, whole milk works fine. 2% also works fine. Um, just make sure it's 12 fluid ounces. So about a cup and a half. Just opening my can. I love these kinds of like cans where you just pop this open. It just makes it less complicated. And I also make sure that I rinse my cans before I use them. And also just making sure that they're clean. All right, so our condensed milk will go in. So these are just the ingredients for our flan. Making sure we're getting that. And if you happen to like drop a bit of egg white, that's fine because you're not making the traditional leche flan. Because you're not like going for that creamy, smooth leche flan texture. So it's just a topping for your cassava cake. But just make sure it does not have a whole lot of egg whites in it. Otherwise, you will see traces of the egg whites on your cassava cake. I'll just rinse this can off with uh, our evaporated milk, getting all that goodness out of this little can. We are 15 minutes in for our baking. 15 more minutes and then I will check it. We got all the good stuff out, and then we are going to put our, let me switch the side, our evaporated milk. Just make sure you break all the yolks and make sure that they are well incorporated. Don't mix them too much. You don't want to create a lot of bubbles. Just try to break your egg yolks. I'll just use my wire whisk. for this one. Just trying to break my yolks. And then another thing about this flan, once you put it on top of your cassava cake, you don't have to sift it. Because again, we're not going for that smooth, creamy texture that a traditional flan has. So just make sure everything is just well incorporated. Your milk, your egg yolks, and your condensed milk. All right, I think this is ready. We're just waiting for our cassava cake to bake. And I'll go ahead and clean up my space while we're waiting. I'll just leave this wire whisk right here. Just you have to give this a good mix. Ooh, it's sliding. You have to give this a good mix before you put it on top of your cassava cake. Let me get my stuff. So as you can see, I have my diffuser here. It's Young Living. Um, our friend introduced the essential oils to us. And since it's the holidays, I am blending the citrus and also the Idaho Grand Fir. So it smells like Christmas. Still smells like Christmas. I can't get over Christmas. Um, and it's very relaxing, clean scent, that citrus. Um, 10 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and check our cassava cake. Meanwhile, oh, I forgot this. While we are waiting, let me check our packages in the front and see what they are. Because we are planning a little tea party for my daughter. She's turning 4. One second. So these are the two scents that I blend: the citrus fresh and the Idaho brand fir. It smells so good. And these are Young Living oils. And the Vitality one, you can mix it in your drink, in your water. If you're trying to get to drink more water, you can put this one in, maybe a drop or two, and that'll put some interesting flavor in your water. It's like infused water. So, as much as I want to check all our packages, I can't make a whole lot of noise because I am trying to be quiet as possible since my son is sleeping. 6 minutes more, and we're getting ready to check our cassava cake. I'm just very excited for the new year, New Year's Eve. Um, I'll be making some of my favorite Filipino rice cakes, delicacies, especially bibingka. And I always remember we get that with puto bongbong. So I hope my version will be a success. I plan to put salted egg and cheese as toppings, and then for the palitaw, I made that before, so and it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. You just need a glutinous rice flour mixed with water, um, and you make your little balls, flat them out, and make sure you have a water ready, boiling water ready, and your shredded coconut, grated coconut, fresh coconut, and then sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds, and white sugar, and you're good to go. And then the other thing that I'm really interested to make, and I hope I will be successful, is the puto. It is, um, again, rice cake that is steamed, and it's made of rice flour. I think some use the regular all-purpose flour, but it has a different flavor. To me, it has a different flavor if you use all-purpose flour versus the real rice flour, or some people even use like the real rice grain, and they blend it. They soak the rice grains overnight. They blend it um, and sift it. It's a very long process, but what I'll be using tomorrow is the rice flour. So if you are here in the US, you can get your rice flour, the regular rice flour, and the glutinous rice flour from your Asian store. The one that we use is marked in red and green color. I don't know what the brand is. Maybe I need to get it so I can show you. So it is manufactured by Choheng Rice Vermicelli Factory. So this is the rice flour, and this is the glutinous rice flour. So this will be your malagkit. Okay, so this is the one you use for palitaw, and this is the one I will be using for the puto. So for the puto, it's like very simple ingredients. You need to make sure you have good yeast, uh, white sugar, granulated sugar, and also your rice flour, plus water, and then steamer. I tried to get those little egg tart um, cups from Amazon, and that's where I will put all my puto batter and then steam it. I chose to get those little stainless ones versus the plastic ones. From what I heard, for sanitary reasons, and I don't really like cooking in plastic. Um, I also try not to microwave in plastic. So there, and those puto are known to be like bite-sized little pieces of rice cakes. That's why they have those little molds. So these are the main ingredient for the kakanin tomorrow. So excited. 30 more seconds and I will check the cassava cake. I just checked our cassava cake and the sides are getting baked faster, quicker than the ones in the middle. And it's still very soupy. So I know it'll take more than 5 minutes based from experience also. So I'm adding 15 minutes more to the baking time. And we'll see. We'll check again after that. So while we're waiting, I'm just looking around and we still have Christmas decorations. Um, do you guys plan to take off your Christmas decorations after the New Year's or wait a little longer? Um, we usually take down ours after Three Kings. And it's just like nice to look at. Your house is nice and festive. Your mind kind of like drifts off of what is going on right now with the pandemic. It's just hard, especially with when it comes to mental health. Um, like it's really hard to cope. We personally are also struggling. We just try to make things work and take it a day at a time. I'm also teaching virtually. Plus, I have my two kids here, and they're both toddlers. So that makes it more challenging. But, you know, we're taking it a day at a time. If something doesn't work, or if I plan something and I don't think I'll be able to pull it off, I just let it go. There's always tomorrow. So I just don't want to make myself more upset or more stressed. Um, and the husband is here, and our tata is here, and also my dad is here. I wish my mom was here. And I'm just very trying to be optimistic about the vaccine, hoping that this would go away, and try to get on with our lives like how we used to have our lives before. And we'd also love to travel back in the Philippines. We try to travel at least like once a year every summer, but since COVID hit, we were not able to travel. Plus, last year I was pregnant with my second child, my little boy. So, well, we tried to travel during, we planned to travel during the Christmas season, but I gave birth. But we were blessed enough to travel during the summertime. So we were able to explore beaches like Boracay. I enjoyed it so much. We went there twice during the duration of our visit. Like we stayed there, I think, beginning of July and beginning of August. So it was really fun. And then we were also able to travel to Vietnam at that time with my daughter. So we did go to Vietnam. I think we spent a week there with my mom and my cousins. It was fun, like exploring different cultures. And then we were also able to go to Davao. That's where my husband is from, Davao. And it was just like super fun staying there because they have a lot of like fruit bearing trees, and you just wake up in the morning if you feel like eating fruits, which my mom and I always do. We just go to a mangosteen tree, pick a fruit, or also rambutan, and also lanzones. So those are like really, really good fruits that we pick. And the ones that they have are really sweet, the sweet kind. So there. 9 more minutes for our cassava cake. What I plan to do here, like after it bakes and you put the flan on top, you just you just bake it for additional maybe like 15-20 minutes. And then after that, once it's set and it's not soupy, you put your oven to low broil, and just close enough to your pan, but not super close because it might break your pan or something. Just to give that topping a little char, that look, for about 3 minutes on low broil. And then let it cool completely. After it cools, I plan to cut it into little squares and make a platter for New Year's with all my kakanins. So hopefully my plan will be executed well. So I'm pretty excited. Um, it's just us celebrating New Year's. We've been really cautious about holding like parties or gatherings here. It's always been just us. um, we have our virtual, not gathering, but we talk to our relatives, especially our parents overseas, through video calls almost every day. Um, just making sure, we are uh, updated and we know what's going on back home, aside from the news we watch. Um, and I just can't wait to um, be home in July or June. I'm just hoping. So there. Just one second. All right, so I did check on our cassava cake and it's pretty set. So I know I still have about 5 minutes left. And what I'm gonna do, I'm not going to let that bake for another 5 minutes. I'll take it out and put our uh, custard mixture on top. So let me carefully take it out of the oven because it's gonna be pretty hot. So this is how it looks like. As you can see, if I try to shake it a little bit, you won't see any like liquid or soupy parts. Um, and that will tell you it is kind of like it's baked, but it's not fully baked. So what I will do, I will give my flan mixture a good stir. And slowly pour it on top. Ooh. Just use your spatula to get all that goodness off of your bowl. There you go. Make sure I scraped it down clean. Now this will go back in the oven for like about 15 minutes. Still 320. Just be very careful. Super hot. So it is now in the oven. What I'm gonna do, again, I'll make sure to clean my area. I just like to you clean as I go. So when the baby wakes up, I don't have like a ton of dishes to wash, or I have like a cluttery space. I just try to keep everything nice and clean, so it'll be, less stressful and a minimal amount of mess. Um, Different people do things differently, so this is just how I do it. I guess I'll just leave this here. So when I take the cassava cake out, we have this cork ready. I'm just trying to see how the baby's doing. So we have 9 more minutes, and then we'll check it in a little bit. I'm getting hungry. It smells buttery, like sweet milk. Hmm. So I just can't wait for how this one will turn out. I mean, I've made this dish, well, this dessert for um I don't know for how many times. I've made it several times already. Um, but there are times that I kind of like tweak things. Like one time when we still had leftover makapuno from the time that we craved halo halo. So I incorporated the makapuno in the batter, and I just left out the shredded coconuts or the coconut flakes, and then I eliminated the sugar altogether because I don't want it to be like little squares of sugar once you bite into it. So that worked out really well. Same ingredients, same measurement, with the exception of the sugar. You just take the sugar out, and then I probably placed half a cup of makapuno strings, and the makapuno strings in a bottle are sweet enough. And then I always put flan on top of my cassava cake. That's just how I do mine. Um, I know there are different versions of cassava cake. Some will just tell you to put like condensed milk on top, no egg yolks or no like evaporated milk or whole milk. I haven't tried that. The others, I think it's a mixture of condensed milk plus coconut milk. Um, I think maybe a third of each, and some will will instruct you to put uh, maybe 3 egg yolks with a part of your condensed milk, so you're not putting all your condensed milk in the batter. But so far, this recipe works well um, with my liking. And um, it's the texture is soft. It's not like super chewy. This right amount of sweetness. And it's buttery. The butter that I particularly use is like has high fat content. Those European butters. And like what I said, our go-to is Costco. We always buy things in bulk. And since I'm pretty much interested in baking since it's the holidays, we bought like a box of that European butter. It has 4 blocks in it. And at one point, I think it was $2 off. So it was really a steal. And then with the coconut milk, it's a really good brand. At first, I was just using like the ones in the Asian store. I didn't really care what it was as long as it appears to be good quality coconut milk. But when Kobe brought this brand home from Costco. Then it was just their go-to coconut milk, and it's cheaper, when you buy in bulk, and you use it for different things like ginataan, different kinds of ginataan for your dessert. Um, so it's just a win-win situation. Um, and it doesn't go bad. So, I mean, when you buy in bulk, it's just 6 cans. So, um, there. 3 minutes in. Let me just go ahead and check. Oh, the whole time it was on mute. Great. So, what I was saying, if you are planning to make this, it'll probably be under an hour. I'm pretty sure, like, you have all your stuff prepared, not like me. Um, and you don't have like downtime just like this, or you'll probably do some chores while you're waiting for your food to bake. Um, Also, I'm trying to be as quiet as possible while my um, toddler, while my baby is sleeping, and also my soon-to-be 4-year-old is also taking a nap. So I have 13 more minutes left, and like what I was saying when I was on mute, I will change the thumbnail on this live just to show a nice photo of our cassava cake from this live session. Just 1 second. So I did check, we need 6 minutes more for the flan to fully bake, and then we're going to do broiling. So 4 minutes more. The flan looks pretty set. So I turned on to a low broil. Now keep in mind that your rack has to be about like third in a third spot so it doesn't burn your flan topping. I'm just waiting for it. So here it is. So once it cools down, it'll settle. It will kind of like sink, not totally sink, but it'll kind of flatten. So this is how I like mine. Just a little char for color. And there you go. Thank you for joining us. Bye.